Hi, I'm Jay Goldman, and you are watching Status Update on Butterscotch.com. Today we're going to take a look at one of my favorite bands, OK Go. Now, they made our Top Social Stories of 2010 list, so if you caught that episode, and we'll provide a link in the show notes if you didn't, you've probably heard a little bit about them, but we thought today we would dive a little bit deeper into one of the bands that's reshaping the music industry landscape through their use of social media. A few bands really represent the impact of social on the industry like they do. They were originally based out of Chicago, they're now in LA. And Damian Kulash, who's the lead singer, recently wrote an op-ed piece in the Wall Street Journal called The New Rockstar Paradigm. And the story sort of starts with this quote: "My rock band has leapt across treadmills, camouflaged ourselves in wallpaper, performed with the Notre Dame Marching Band, danced with a dozen trained dogs, made an animation with 2,300 pieces of toast, crammed a day-long continuous shoot into 4.5 minutes, and built the first ever Rube Goldberg machine, at least that we know of, to operate in time to music." That's a pretty good summary of the videos that OK Go has made, and those videos have really helped them to sell more than 600,000 records in the last decade. The viral story starts with their single Here It Goes Again, which was off their second album, Oh No. The video was released on July 31st, 2006, and featured an elaborately choreographed dance routine on treadmills. That video earned them 50 million views on YouTube, and it's probably more than that when you consider all the other places it's been posted. And it actually kind of led them to parting ways with EMI, who was their record label at the time, in between their albums. In an interview that Damian did with Shira Lazar on CBS, he said that EMI had required them to block the embedding of YouTube videos, which directly resulted in them cutting back the viewership numbers to about 1/10 of the level that they were. So you could view the videos on YouTube's website itself, but you could no longer embed it on other sites. Record labels used to see videos as advertising for songs, and so they were sort of okay with them being distributed all over the place and for free. But as record sales have dropped and fans have stopped buying music in the same way that they used to, record labels have started seeing videos as a profit-making machine, and so they only want you to view them on YouTube, where they actually earn a cut of the ads that appear around the video from YouTube. That directly resulted in, obviously, a big drop in viewership to the band, but they didn't really think that much of it until fans started getting mad at them because they couldn't embed the videos anymore, and the fans didn't understand that it was a label issue more than a band. In speaking about this, Damian said that it's really hard for labels not to shoot themselves in the foot because the world is all foot and they have a really big gun. And that's the truth. As the industry changes so fundamentally, the labels really just aren't able to sort of keep up with that. They used to be in the risk aggregation business, not unlike venture capitalists in the startup world. So the labels were all about gathering together a whole bunch of bands, investing in a bunch of them, and assuming that some of them were going to fail. In fact, most of them were going to fail, but the ones that hit were really going to hit. And that's pretty much the venture capital model in the startup world as well. Damian's article says that about 5% of bands on major labels were ever really profitable, which is actually a lower number than VCs aim for, so any VCs watching this, you can feel good about yourselves. But for a band like OK Go, they're not really motivated by trying to market their music or trying to make money from it. They're really motivated by making things. So in parting from EMI, starting their own label and moving into their own model, they said, we're going to use this as an opportunity to explore different ways for a band to really be able to establish themselves. They knew that the social aspect of what they do, spreading their videos through YouTube and other social networks, was a critical part of how their fans related to them. And so they needed to find a new way to make really interesting videos without the backing of a label behind them to pay for it. They've moved to what they call a patronage model, sort of inspired by the medieval patronage model of artists who were sponsored by very rich families like the Medicis. And so they've actually gone and found corporate entities who are interested in sponsoring those videos and being associated with them. For example, they did a musical parade through the city of LA that was sponsored by Range Rover, and they used Range Rover's GPS devices to actually write the word OK Go on the map of LA. Samsung and State Farm have both underwritten videos, and so what they're really doing is turning to those corporate entities to be able to sponsor and make the videos that they know their fans are going to then distribute through the social networks. A lot of this comes back in some way to a book called The Clue Train Manifesto, and if you haven't read it, I highly, highly recommend it. This is pretty groundbreaking stuff, but some of the theses that are contained in the manifesto, for example, hyperlinks subvert hierarchy really speak to what's happening here. In the days of the Clue Train Manifesto, we weren't talking about embedded video because it just wasn't there yet. But now what we're really saying is the embedded video that OK Go has used to promote their stuff has actually subverted the entire hierarchy of the music industry and resulted in them being a very successful band entirely on their own. Their latest video that's gone viral, which is for a single called This Too Shall Pass from their latest album, The Blue Color of the Sky, was released on March 1st, 2010. It's a crazy Rube Goldberg-style machine in a warehouse. It was actually initially inspired by a show called The Pythagoras Switch, which is a Japanese TV show. And they saw that show and they sort of saw the Rube Goldberg machines. They said, we'd really love to do something like this. So they posted a job description online, and a group called SynLabs, which is about 20 people, responded with a proposal. They said, listen, we can't afford to pay 20 people to do this, but we're really interested in working with you guys. And the SynLab guys said, don't worry about it. We'll figure out a way that this makes sense for everybody. Let's just build something really awesome. So they had about 60 people working on it, about 8 core builders, 12 part-timers, and 30 people there just to reset the machine between takes, which took about an hour. It took them 60 takes to get it right, which actually resulted in them adding a 5th day of taping just to be able to get to it. But it's also earned them over 21 million views on YouTube. So that's sort of the story of OK Go so far. Really interested to see what they continue to do as they innovate both in making the videos and also in finding ways to distribute them through the social networks. Don't forget, if you're looking for a domain name, you can get 10% off with this coupon at hover.com, and I'll see you over there. I'm Jay Goldman. This has been Status Update. We'll catch you next time.